ಆಯ್ತು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ. Yes.
Yeah. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha. Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatraha. Sthirairangai Stuštuvagam Sastanubhihi. Vishema Devahitai Yadayuhu. Swasti na Indro Vruddhashavaha. स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. Dear devotees, if you remember the previous week class, we were discussing about very important, often quoted shloka about Satyameva Jayate. Apart from that, there very clearly the Rishi says that a person who follows the truth, he alone wins. This can be understood from 2 points of view. One is the Satya. Sat means it is existence. One who follows, one who holds on to the Atman or Brahman, he alone can win means what? He will be able to reach the ultimate goal. He alone can be happy or blissful at all given point of times. And from the mundane affair point of view also, whoever follows the path of truth, he alone can win, will have the victory at last. Now, immediate question will come for most of us, but Swamiji, that may be in the case with the spiritual personalities or in the scriptures, but in our mundane life or in our day-to-day life, we don't see. Because the good people always suffer and the wrong people always win victories, and they have got money, they have got name and fame, they have got their fan following and etc. So for that, the commentators say, or the Upanishad itself says, and commentators also very clearly give explanations or commentaries that, yeah, in due course of time or in the given point of time, that may be true. But if you see in the long run, the people who have cheated, the people who have got the things in an illegal means or in the wrong means, they will not be able to win. They will not be able to be successful in the long run. So that's what. So in the short-sightedness, we say, in the short sight, it looks like that they are, what do you say, they have got win over and they have got success and etc. But in the long run, it is not so. But here the word of caution is, I am truthful, I am honest, I am good. That alone is not enough to success. Because many times devotees and spiritual aspirants, they think, I am very hard work I'm doing and I'm very sincere and I'm very good and I don't cheat anyone, I don't tell lies, but still success is not coming. Their professional skills, the lack of professional skills, lack of smartness also can be one of the reasons. One point. Second thing is, because I am good, that doesn't mean that I should be keep on getting cheated by the wrong people. We should use our common sense even in that way. We have to be a bit careful about all these things. So even if you see in the history, especially in the Rajputs, they were following Kshatriya Dharma, Kshatriya Dharma, no doubt, but with whom? With especially from the invaders like Islam people. Because of that, they lost their kingdom, they lost their lives, they lost their women and all. So we have to be very careful about all these things. But very clearly, Upanishad is telling Satyameva Jayate, which is our motto. Afterwards, what it is and what its attributes are told in the 7th shloka, if you remember. Though Atman cannot be explained, but people does ask, okay, that's fine, then what it is? If you say that, oh, it cannot be explained, you have to understand yourself, then they say, bye-bye, it is better, then we will go away. Because anyhow, we cannot understand, then why should we break our head? Why should we boggle our head? So the rishis or the philosophers are bound to give some or other explanations based on their experiences. You can say Nirvikalpa Samadhi or Atmanubhuti, the experience of the truth, ultimate reality. Based on their experience and based on their memory of the experience, they have given the attributes. And what these attributes we did saw. we did see in the last week. And some of the unique means for this realization has been told in the 8th shloka. Many times people do make a comment. Upanishads, they are all very theoretical books, and they speak about the theories, the theory of Brahman, the theory of the world, and whatnot. But there is no practical suggestions or practical disciplines how to achieve it. So that's what some commentators or some people make. I've seen making comments, but it is not so. Upanishads have given very clearly what sadhanas has to be done. But we don't understand, because sometimes Upanishads, they don't tell pinpointedly, either do this or do that, they don't tell. They give a good amount of suggestions or good amount of sadhanas which can be done, and they will allow us to take decision, or they want us to take decision. There only we go wrong. Not only we, even Arjuna went wrong. If you see in the Karma Yoga 3rd chapter, Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tatkim karmani ghore mam niyojaisi keshava vyamishrenev vakyena buddhi mohayasi mame tadekam vadanishchitya yena shreyo ham apnoya. What is that? Jayasi chet karmanaste. If you think that Gnana is superior to the karma, Krishna didn't mean that, but the Arjuna is thinking is that. Arjuna's doubt it is. Arjuna's opinion. Oh Krishna, according to you, if Gnana is superior to karma, Jayasi chet karmanaste, Matha buddhir janardana, hey janardana, then why are you confusing me? Tat kim, then why? Karmani ghore ma. In this ghora karma, in this so complex karma, niyojayasi Keshava, hey Keshava, niyojayasi kim. Then why are you asking me, why are you forcing me to do these actions which are very terrible in nature? Vyamishreneva vakyena. You are confusing me by your philosophy, by your teachings. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhi mohayasi vame. I am getting confused. I am getting deluded. That's why what is telling? Tadekam. Third, therefore, ekam vyam. You tell me whether to do this or to do that. Don't tell so many things. You can do this, you can do that, you can do in that way, in this fashion. Now, don't tell me. You tell me very clearly, do this and don't do this. I will do it. Even Arjuna asks to Krishna, but Krishna never tells that you do this or you do that. So he only tells that, okay, you can do this or you can do that also. Whichever you feel right for you, whichever you feel you are eligible, you do that. So the Upanishads were not dictators like. This is again one of the big difference between the Upanishads and our Semitic religions. In the Semitic religions, in the dualistic concepts of Vedanta, dualistic schools of Vedanta, they tell very pinpointedly, do this, do that, and all. But in the Advaita Vedanta, based on the Upanishads, it doesn't tell very pinpointedly, do this or do that. It gives the variety of sadhanas by which is suitable to you, and from wherever you are there, from that place, from that stage, you can continue your spiritual sadhana. Now, unique means, which has already knows, we might have, whoever studied Upanishads and Prakana Granthas, we will be knowing this. Na chakshusha gruhyate, napi vacha, nanyaihi devaistapata, karmanava, danaprasadena vishuddha, sattvaha tatastu, tam pashyate, nishkalam dhyayamanaha. The overall meaning goes like this. It is not comprehended through the eye, nor through speech, nor through the other senses, nor it is attained through austerity or karma. Since one becomes purified in mind through the favorableness of the intellect, therefore, one can see that indivisible self through meditation. Now, here two sets of spiritual disciplines or two sets of ideas has been given by the Upanishad. What is that? From which it cannot be attained and from which it can be attained. At the broad canvas, it has been classified into two groups, from which you cannot attain and from which you can attain. Okay. Now, here the whole idea is you have to understand that Brahman or the Atman or the consciousness or the I actually, the I myself, I am not the object, I am the subject. Now, why they are telling so many paradoxes, looks like paradoxes, why they are telling? Only to make us understand that Atman is the subject, it is never the object. And so here the Upanishad is telling about Dhyana Sadhana, that is various disciplines. Now, to have Brahmagnana, there are different type of spiritual practices has been mentioned, which is called Jnana Sadhana. That means Brahman can be attained through spiritual disciplines. So does it mean? No. Again, it is a limitation of the intellect, or limitation of the speech, or the limitation of the language. Here, the moksha is negative in nature. What do we mean by moksha is negative in nature? Here, moksha means we are losing actually, we are not attaining anything actually. Though we say we attain moksha, one can attain moksha, he attained moksha, she attained moksha, I attained moksha or Brahmagnana. Though we may use it, it is a limitation of the language, but strictly speaking, we are not attaining, we are only losing. What? We are losing the ignorance. We are losing impurities. We are losing a wrong cognition or delusion by which it is attained. So attaining is only again the limitation of the language. We are only losing. So all our sadhana is what? All our spiritual practice is what? To remove the misconception, to remove the ignorance. Okay. Now, so Brahman cannot be objectified. It is not the object of experience, it is the subject. That is about the whole of first two lines of idea. Now, it is not na chakshusha gruhyate. If you remember, I was also telling you how one can read the slokas also I'll be trying to tell. Now, Brahman is not comprehensible by the 5 sense organs of knowledge. So all our knowledge is obtained by why? How? From Pancha Gnanendriyas, from 5 sense organs of knowledge. How? I can perceive the forms. Ear can perceive or comprehend the sound. Nose can perceive smell. Tongue can perceive the taste, and the skin perceive the touch. This is all. So all our knowledge is in the gamut of these 5 sense organs of knowledge. Pancha Gnanendriyas. Apart from that, some things are from the mind. Now, na atma gruhyate. Sorry, atma na gruhyate. Atma we can add it to get clarification. Atman or Brahman, atma chakshusha na gruhyate. The Atman or the Brahman or the consciousness is not perceivable, is not perceived by eyes with the help of eyes. With the help of eyes, we can see many things. I see different colors, different forms, different shapes, and different things. Even sometimes distance also. How long it is? It is 2 kilometers. Or I'm seeing a mountain which is at a distance, probably it looks like we are 2 or 3 kilometers. Even it can approximately, I can measure even the distance even safer. So through eyes, we can understand many things. We get a lot of knowledge from the eyes, but the Upanishad is telling that the Brahman cannot be attained, Brahman cannot be perceived or comprehended by the eye, with the help of the eye. Why? Because it is formless. Okay? Chakshusha na guruhyate. Napi vacha guryate. Guryate, again this word is to be added. Na api vacha guryate. Not even by speech it can be understood, it can be attained, it can be comprehended. Now, I don't know, for an example, what do you say, calculus. Now I go to the maths teacher, professor, and I ask him, can you teach calculus? He says, yes, come on, and he starts teaching me calculus. Now I got it. So how did I get the calculus knowledge? By hearing the teachings of the teacher. Of course, Swami says that knowledge is internal in nature. That is a altogether different thing. But at least now I didn't know something about probably Disneyland. What is Disneyland? Someone explains what is Disneyland or USA or New York. Then I get a fair idea of these things. So through the hearing the speech or the sound or the words, we get a lot of knowledge. So then can we get the knowledge of the Brahman by the speech? The Upanishad is saying that no, it is not possible. Why? Because you cannot utter what it is actually. Even the so-called Brahman, Atman and all, they're only indicative. Okay. Na anya devaihi, not even by other devatas, other gods. Is it that here only we need a right understanding teacher or a interpreter or commentator? Here devaihi means it is not the gods and goddesses or the demigods or the angels. Here devaihi means indriyani, that is the sense organs. Just like Brahman cannot be comprehended by eyes, Brahman cannot be comprehended by speech, Brahman cannot be comprehended by skin, Brahman cannot be comprehended by ears, Brahman cannot be comprehended by nose also. So, na anya devaihi means even Brahman cannot be comprehended, perceived, or it is not perceivable by the other sense organs of knowledge. Okay. Why? Because Brahman is Ashabdam, Asparsham, Arupam, Agandam. If you remember in one of the Upanishad, this we read. Okay. Na anya devaihi. Okay. Tapasa karmanava. Now from 5 sense organs of knowledge it has been done. Now what about the actions and austerities? Now Brahman cannot be attained by various spiritual disciplines also. Then we should not do spiritual disciplines. Then why the scriptures are asking us to do spiritual disciplines? Japa, meditation, fasting, mind control and all. Oh, from today onwards, I need not to do. Why? Because tapasa, karmanava, napi gruyate. Gruyate has to be added everywhere. So through karmana, through good actions or through karma yoga, selfless action, it is not attained. Na tapasa. You are doing a lot of austerities. You are going to the Himalayas and doing, for example, today morning we had a 0 degree. Okay. I would go and stand in a single leg or I am in that biting cold. I am doing meditation as a part of tapas. By tapas can we attain? They say no. Why they are saying like this? Here tapas also includes different type of upasanas. Meditation, japa, or vratas, or different type of meditations. All these things are included. Why? Because by doing according to this is a strict Advaita Vedantic tradition. According to them, they say because karma. By karma, whatever we attain, it is classified. This is discussed very beautifully in Chandogya Upanishad or Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in detail. Whatever is attained through karma action is been broadly classified into 4 categories actually. One is utpadya. Through karma, whatever you get is been categorized into 4 parts, 4 categories. First category is called utpadya. Utpadya means making. Like potter creates, potter makes the pot. And there is an industry, Apple industry creates, or Apple company creates, makes mobile phone or iPad. For example, the pharmaceutical companies create or make the tablets or medicines. So they manufacturing. By the action, you can do manufacturing. We have got a lot of manufacturing in industries and exports and imports and all there. Okay, utpadya, you understand. Then the second is apya. Apya means it is like reaching. I did a lot of, for example, what do you say, in the Upanishads and in the Vedas, if you see, whoever does 100 Ashwamedha yagas, he can become Indra. So he reaches Swarga and he attains Indra Padavi. He will become an officer or he will become the lord of the leader of the demigods, Devatas. So reaching. So he does lot of punya. So after his death, he attained, reached Swarga, he reached Vaikunta, he reached some Gandharva Loka or some other worlds basically, or reaching basically. Or he worked hard, he studied well, he got scholarship, and now he has gone to the Texas, or he has reached Ireland to study in Trinity College or in German University. So he reached there. Samskarya. Samskarya means purification, refinement. Now car service. Car was dirty. Either I gave to the service, I took to the service station, or myself applying water and pushing some probably soap oil, cleaning and all. So I did action. Some action was done. Because of that, the car was cleansed. Our body, daily we take bath and we clean the house, we clean things and all like that. Samskarya. Then the other one is vikarya. Vikarya means modification. There was a curd, there is a milk and I added little yogurt, and that is curds at the night, and morning I see the milk has been transformed into curds or yogurt. So utpadya making, apya reaching, samskarya purifying, vikarya modifying. Whatever we do actions to get any product, so all our actions results can be categorized into 4 categories. Now here, na karmana means Brahman cannot be made. Why? Brahman is there always. It is not a product. It is not an object at all. If it is not an object, it is not a product, then how can you make it? So, an example, now at least I don't know, here Ireland and all, they are making a lot of experiments. Even they want to create, or they are trying to create brain cells. So they are making brain cells, which has been given naturally by the God for us, from the God or from the nature. Now the scientists are making. Example, water. Now H2O, hydrogen and oxygen atoms they bring, and they make water, they produce water if need be. And they can do so many manufacturing. Like that, Brahman is not made. Why? It is self-effulgent and it is subject and never the object. Okay, apya. Because I do something and I can reach the Swarga, I can reach the some loka, I can reach to the place. Can I reach like that Brahman? No. Why? Because it is not an object, it is the subject. Okay, samskarya. It has got some dirt, let me clean it, let me refine it, let me purify it. If you say Atman is always pure, it is ever pure. Then vikarya. Let me, it had some problem, there's a manufacturing defect, so I will do something, some repairs, and I will modify it so that the Brahman will be free from all the impurities, blemishes, shortcomings. If you say, no, you cannot modify it all. So because the action can give only these 4, and Brahman is we cannot get from any of these 4. That's why nakarmana or karmana atma nagruhyate. Atman cannot be attained, cannot be reached, cannot be comprehended or perceived by the karmas. Karma means here satkarma, not dushkarma or satkarma or karma yoga. Everything is attained. Then why should we do karma yoga? We do karma yoga according to the traditional Advaita Vedanta. By doing karma yoga, we get chitta shuddhi, that is the purification of the mind. But Swami establishes clearly, by doing karma yoga alone, one can reach the mukti. And because primarily you have to understand the cultural context, in those days, Shankaracharya time, this karma kanda, the Vaidika yagnas were too much. So through that alone, everyone has to do this Vaidika yagnas till death. That was the rule. For that, it is not required. Atma Gnana is also possible only through that. The Purvamimamsakas used to argue. So he had to break that a strong thought, wrong thought. So that's why he gave a lot of importance. Then, na tapasa. Why? Because it is not product, it is nitya, it cannot be reached, because it is you also. It is I, it is you. If I have to reach somewhere, I have to different. The goal and the person who is achieving will be different. Now, when I am reaching Atma Gnana means what? I am that. Then where is the question of going and reaching there? And it cannot be purified, it is blemishless, it cannot be modified. It is the one whole. And tapasa. In tapasa, what happens in upasanas? Actually, we get chitta ekagrata. Mind gets steady. The distraction will be minimal. No emotional disturbance. Many times tell people, Swamiji, when we are hearing Vedanta class, when we come to ashram, when we are hearing Vedanta classes, scripture classes, everything looks so beautiful. Everything looks so nice, so clear, everything, yes. But afterwards, when we go out, then when we get into the world, our samsara, or our family, or one message, one phone call, it disturbs us. All the Vedanta knowledge goes side or gets evaporated. Why? Because our mind is not at study, because of the desires or because of the impurities or whatever. So mind is not steady since, so the knowledge doesn't stay back. Even if you understand, but we are not able to hold on to it, hook on to it. So we need a steady wisdom, steady mind, steady intellect, and with less distractions, no turmoils, no upheavals. That doesn't mean that the life will be perfect. There will be no problem, there will be no adverse circumstance. No. In spite of all that, one can be happy. So that is attained by tapasa. By tapasa means by austerities, and by tapyate iti tapaha. When you burn more and more, the gold becomes shiny. So similarly, when the mind is burnt by this tapas, then what happens? It loses all the impurities. Then it becomes fit to experience the Brahman. So then why tapas is done? Tapas is done only because to clear the impurities. That's why I said in the beginning itself, the moksha actually is negative in nature. We are losing, actually, we are not getting any new thing. Okay, Jnana Prasadena. This is again one more beautiful word. Jnana Prasada and Vishuddha Sattva. These are the two important and beautiful words one has to think about. Now, through Karma Yoga, according to the traditional Advaita Vedanta and Shankaracharya, one is Chitta Shuddhi. And how to understand Chitta Shuddhi, if you ask, they say you will get Viveka, discrimination, or discernment. We can say discrimination in the West. If you use word, definitely they will say no. We don't want to discriminate. There's a cultural context again. So generally we use the word discernment here. So Viveka means not, discernment, we get it. Then Vairagya, dispassion. I don't want any the pleasurable things either in this world or above worlds. And Mumukshatva, intense desire for liberation. These three things are attained by Karma Yoga. And then by doing Bhakti Yoga, Upasana, meditation, according to the traditional Advaita Vedanta, one gets Shatka Sampatti. Shamadama, Uprati, Tiksha, Samadhana, Shraddha, we say. Shatka Sampatti, they are saying that. Sixfold treasures. Why they are treasures? Because of that, you will be fit enough to get moksha. So they are called treasures. Though they are disciplines, they are also called treasures. When you get both of these two, then what happens? Jnana prasadanani. I read even Prakarana Granthas. So many Advaitic texts I read, commentators, sub-commentaries and glossaries, so many things I read, but still I didn't understand Brahman. I didn't realize Brahman or experience Brahman. Why? Then is that Upanishad is at fault? Or the scriptures are at fault? No. Why? Because the sadhana chatushte sampannata has not been achieved. In Chandogya, Tattvamasi Shvetaketu, Uddalaka said to the Shvetaketu, you are that Shvetaketu, you are that Shvetaketu, either 6 times or 9 times. When he heard that, Shvetaketu finally said, Ahamasmi Brahma. Yes, I am that Brahman. He understood. He experienced, not only understood, experienced. Now for us, 600, 900, 6,000, 6 lakh times we may say Guru, but we don't understand, we don't experience. Why? Because we have not become fit enough, means we have not become pure enough. So we have to do a lot of sadhana. Why? To remove the impurities. So, Jnana Prasadanani means what? When you get prepared mind. If you want me to translate this Jnana Prasadanani, it is a prepared mind. Through this sadhana chatushta sampannata, one by doing sadhana, karma yoga and bhakti yoga, or meditation and all, one who gets sadhana chatushta sampannata, this fourfold prerequisites, one who attains, he gets Jnana Prasadanani, means his mind is prepared. When his mind is prepared, what happens? When he understands, when he hears the Vedanta, he experiences it. Or when he gets the mantra, when he starts thinking, meditating on that, in no time, we'll be able to see or experience the God. Whereas for so many years we are doing it, but we are not able to experience. Why? Because of lot of impurities. That is what called Jnana Prasadana. Prepared mind means which is relaxed, which is receptive, and non-extrovert mind. Mind is relaxed. When we come to class, okay, after class, again, we will get a lot of things. I have to do this, I have to do that, blah, 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 and all. We keep and we get sometimes busy so much so that we forget about Vedanta, we forget about Brahman and etc. So relaxed mind. We are doing all our work, no doubt. Externally, we might be very busy, but internally, I am relaxed. I've seen couple of monks in that way. They are extremely busy, day in and day out. Daily 10, 12 hours they work, but they have got relaxed mind because they've got a control over their mind. And receptivity. Vedanta class, very few people. If there is any math science class, little more people. If you have any dance or clubs or parties, then there are more people. Why? The receptivity for Vedanta, the receptivity for higher things is very, very less in us because of, again, impurities. But whereas in the prepared mind, there will be receptivity. For example, when I was in Mysore in Rimse, we got one Pandit, nice Pandit. So he was quite busy also because he used to go to a lot of places to teach. Somehow, with great difficulty, I got him for a 5-6 days. Then imagine morning 8 to 10, then 10:30 to 12:30, then 2 to 4, then 5 to 7. We had a classes on Advaita Vedanta and Brahma Sutra. Some sadhus or people said, Swamiji, how do you sit and listen so much, so many hours every day, the Vedanta, that is, which is so dry. I said, see, now that such type of a caliber person, caliber teacher, we get very difficult. Getting him is very difficult. When we get, we should make use of it. If there's an intellectual hunger, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours studying Vedanta, it is a great joy actually. I don't know how Vedanta, they say Vedanta is dry. So there is a receptivity should be there. Receptivity for higher ideas. I think there's a beautiful story of Vachaspati Mishra. Sometime maybe I will tell. There's a beautiful story about this Vachaspati Mishra, how he was receptive for the ideas. He was Sarvatantra Acharya. This means Sarvatantra means different schools of philosophy. And he was well established in every school of philosophy. I mean, so much he had read. Receptivity. So who has got such type of mind? He is Dhana Prasadana. Dhana Prasadena. Means his mind is ready, his mind is prepared, his mind is refined, trained mind. And Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva means, Sattva you can understand. Sattva means one who has got pure mind, one whose mind is calm, and it is always thinks about simple living and high thinking. And it is living at the level of thoughts and the spirit or the God. Vishuddha. Vishesha Rupena Shuddha. It is extremely pure. So Vishuddha Sattva. By sadhana, by different spiritual practices, we should get this. Jnana Prasadanani, Jnana and Vishuddha Sattva. Then only one can get the moksha or mukti. You may get God's grace. Because we get God's grace, that's why we are able to attain Vedanta classes. We have got Mantra Dikshas, we have got a good holy company and all. So this is all by God's grace and our good actions results. But how much we are making use of it. So here we have got God's grace, but we don't have our own mind's grace. In Bhagavata, it is told often. You may get God's grace, you may get holy people's grace, you may get Guru's grace, but if you don't get your own mind's grace, you cannot attain God, you cannot attain mukti. Again, attaining is only the limitation of the word. We should not take it strict sense. So our mind's grace is also very, very important. If your mind's grace gets what, then you'll be able to do. You know what to do. We all know what to do and what not to do, but still we are not able to do. Why? Because we don't have the grace of our own mind. So this Vishuddha Sattvaha, it tells that who has received his mind's grace, his own mind's grace, not someone's mind's grace, his own mind's grace. Or one whose mind is pure, one who is fit to experience Brahman, whose mind is under control, and who has grace, who has his mind's grace. Means if he wants to meditate, mind is ready and it is supporting. If he wants to study, it is supporting. If he wants to do prayers, the mind is supporting. That's what I mean, mind's grace. Basically, Satvika Antakarana, we can say. Satvika Antakarana. So, from Tamas, we have to go to Rajas. From Rajas to we go to Sattva. Then with the help of Vedanta or Brahmagnana, this Savana Madhyasana, we can go to Trigunatita. That is the gradation of the sadhana generally told. So, Vishuddha Sattva means Satvika Antakarana. Tatahatu means after then means what? After mastering the mind through Jnana Prasada Sadhana, Jnana Prasadena and Vishuddha Sattva. These are the mental states. After attaining that, after achieving that, after making your mind free mind or prepared mind or Vishuddha Sattva, Satvika Antakarana means one who has possessed spiritual disciplines, truth, purity, withdrawal of senses and mind, shamadamadi and all. Then tampashyate, such type of person sees, discerns, realizes. What he sees? Nishkalam dhyayamana. He sees, he experiences the Brahman, which is undivided, which is indivisible, devoid of all the limbs, devoid of all the organs. Means because it is only one, it is the only subject, it is never the object. That's what. Nishkalo, Niranjano, Nirvikalpo, Nirakyata, Shuddha Deva, Yuko Narayana. In the Narayan Sukta and Purusha Sukta, we use this word, Nishkala. Nishkala means it is undivided. It doesn't have any parts actually. And Dhyayamanaha means by meditating. Now here meditating means it should not be taken from the point of Bhakti Yoga. It is taken from the point of Jnana Yoga. Meditation in the Bhakti Yoga, what we do? We generally meditate on the different forms. Maybe on Shiva, Durga, Kali, Rama, Krishna and all. That's what Upasana we do. Here, Dhyayamanaha in the Mundaka Upanishad, it is not meditating on the forms, here meditating on the Vedantic teachings or Upanishadic teachings. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. That Nididhyasana has been told here. So, meditating on the nature of the Brahman or meditating on the Upanishadic teachings. By that, what happens? He attains Brahman. He experiences the Brahman. But for that, terms and conditions apply. Jnana prasadena and Vishuddha Sattva. So, sadhan chatushta sampannata is very much required. Then in the 9th sloka also, the same similar type of spiritual practices has been told. Yeshaha anuratma chetasa veditavyaha yasmin pranaha panchada samvivesha pranaschittam sarvamotam prajanam yasman vishuddhe vibhavatyesha atma. Within the heart, in the body, where the vital force has entered in 5 forms, is this subtle self to be realized through that intelligence by which is pervaded the entire mind as well as the sensory organs of all the people or creatures. It is to be known in the mind which have become purified, the self reveals itself distinctively. Now, who can realize Brahman? If you ask, already it is put, who has got Vishuddha Sattva? Who has got Jnana Sadhana, one who is well established in Jnana Prasadena. From Jnana Sadhana, you will get Jnana Prasada, and who has got Vishuddha Sattva. The same thing has been told here once more. What is the nature of Brahman? And who can attain? Who has got Vishuddha Sattva? Fine. Now, okay, what is the qualification you have told? What is the address of the Brahman? How much ever we tell Brahman is the subject, it is never the object, it is all pervasive, it is omniscient and all omnipresent when we say, but still we ask, Swamiji, all okay, but where can we find this Brahman? Where do we get this Brahman? Is there any address? If you ask, here the author is trying to give the address. Yeshaha anuhu atma. Now he is giving one signal. He is giving one sign. For example, if you ask, oh, where can be the estate owner? Oh, he can be in whole of estate is his. In that whole estate, he can be anywhere else. Okay, fair enough. Can you give me some, because I have not seen about him. So how does he look like? Oh, he wears a beautiful silk cloth. And he'll be wearing a hat and he'll be wearing a stick. So who is wearing a hat and a stick with a silk cloth, which very grand in the manner? So he will be the estate owner. So some like that people might give these references. So like that. So what is this Atman? If you ask, they are telling Yeshaha Anuhu Atma. Anu means atom. We know that. So this is like atom. Are? In the previous sloka, you told that the Atman is subject, it is never the object. Then you were telling that Atman is like atom. That means as it got some form. Atom has got a form, we all know that. It is not perceivable through naked eye, but we can perceive through microscopes or different instruments. It has got the minute part maybe, but it has got a form. So here Anuhu means, we should not take literally atom in the sense, here Anuhu means subtle. It is very subtle in nature. It is subtler than the subtlest. Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. We have discussed that. So it is subtler. It is very subtle. It is subtler than the atom, or it is very subtle. To make that, or it is very difficult to comprehend, is what been applied meaning or lakshyartha in this word, Yesha Anuhu Atma. So Anuhu means here, it should not be taken as an atom, it should be taken as subtle. This Atman is very subtle, means it is very difficult to comprehend. Okay. Then Where to come? Okay, then what is the address if you ask? In the whole estate, I said, maybe, but can you give me exact address or exact place so that I can go and tell? Okay, in the estate, there is called a building, such and such a building. And in that building, generally he stays there. So you may go and get him. So similarly, here the Upanishad is telling that Chetasa. Where do you get it? How do you get it? How do you understand if you ask? The is telling Chetasa Veditavyaha. You have to know through the mind only. Are? In the earliest slokas, if you remember, you'll get this doubt. Otherwise, no, ignorance is bliss. Because it is not perceivable by mind, it is not perceivable sense organs, it is not perceivable anything you said. And now Upanishad itself is saying that Chetasa Veditavyaha. It is perceived through the mind alone. Why is it contradictory? Why the Upanishads are confusing us? If you ask, no. So here we have to use the not vachyartha, lakshyartha, not the literal meaning. We have to use the applied meaning. So here, Chetasa Veditavya, you have to know through the mind alone. Means what does it mean? When Upanishad says that it can be known through the mind alone, means what? It is possible only through the prepared mind, which already I told in the previous sloka. If it is a prepared mind, you can conceive it. And the mind is not perceivable by the mind, if you say, that means it is not perceivable by the unprepared mind or dirty mind or impure mind. So that's what we are to understand. Chedasa Veditavya means you have to know through the mind only. Which type of mind? It is pure mind, who has got sadhan chatush sampannata, or what you say, Vishuddha Sattvaha. One who has attained Vishuddha Sattva, such type of person's mind can perceive, can comprehend the sense organ. Again, their comprehension is how? Because just like a glass, there was a light, but there was so much dirt and oily substance and dirt on the glass. That's why we were not able to get the light. But the moment when you clean the glass, then we are able to get the light. So that's what even Vishuddha Sattva, from the pure mind, one can comprehend the Atman means what? We can able to see through that means what? Just like light is able to come out from this pure glass, from that angle. Okay. Where is it to be realized? Through the mind, it can be realized fine. But where is it to be realized if you say, Yasmin? Yasmin is a pronoun, no doubt. But here, Yasmin means where? Means in the one's own body. In one's sharira, actually. Yasmin sharire. Sharire has to be added. Means it can be comprehended. It can be perceived in one's own body. Now, why only one's own body? Because Atman is omnipresent. Why we can perceive, we can understand everywhere. Yes, it is possible. But until otherwise, if I don't perceive the Atman in my own self, I cannot perceive the Atman everywhere. If I cannot see the God in myself, I cannot see the God in others or in other beings. So seeing the God or seeing the self or experiencing them in one's own heart is very, very important. Without that, you cannot experience outside. Okay, then how do you know that whether it is a dead or a living or sentient or insentient if you ask? So the Upanishad is telling pranaha panchada samvivesha. So this prana in this body, it is coming and going. It has and based on that, panchada means here 5. Based on the function, the prana has been differentiated, classified into 5 groups that has been mentioned here. So the vital force has entered well in these 5 different forms. What is that? Prana. Prana means the respiratory system, the function. Apana means excretory system. Vyana means circulatory system. Samana means digestive. And Udana means immunity system. And the reversal system also. So basically, how to recognize Brahman, if you ask, in the next again, they are telling that Chetana Tattvam actually. Okay. Pranaish Chittam Sarvametam Sarvamotam Prajanam. So, and this Brahman is in the body, no doubt. Where? In the heart. Not only in the heart, it is enliving, it is what you say, it is covering the entire your body, from head to toe, your mind, your sense organs of knowledge, sense organs of action, every part of the body has been covered. Pranas Chittam Sarvamotam Prajana. Not only yours, even everyone's, in every sentient way, whether saint or sinner, whether good person or wicked person, whether you are from India, from Ireland, from US, from whatever, It doesn't differentiate between religion, caste, or country, or sex, or whether poor or rich, or dull or intelligent. This Atman is pervading in everyone's body completely. Yasmin Vishuddhe Vibhavattesha Atma. And this Atma can be considered, can be perceived by for whom? Vishuddhe. Yasmin Vishuddhe. Whose mind has become free from all the impurities, who has become pure embodiment. Yasmin Vishuddhe. Whose mind is not tainted, distracted, impure, who is ever pure. Such person, Vibhavati, Esha Atma, Vibhavati. For such a person, Atman is already evident, means Atman is perceivable, Atman is comprehended or perceived from such a person. Who? Yasmin Vishuddha. Whose mind is pure, whose mind is undistracted. In the name of spirituality, we do a lot of wrong things. We sometimes people cheat. Hypocrisy will be there. I am doing something and I am telling something and I am showing something. Our actions and thoughts are not coherent. So either it is for householders or for monks, it is for everyone. We have to be coherent in our words and talk and the action. So we have to have a pure mind. Now, in the 10th sloka, just I will mention, I will not go into details, because there the glory of the Gnani has been told here. The beauty and the glory of the Gnani. By telling that, the Upanishad view or Upanishad's intention is the glory of Gnana, the glorification of the spiritual knowledge or Brahma Gnana. To tell that, they have told about the Brahma Gnani, how the Brahma Gnani is great. Yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati Vishuddha sattvaha kamayate yanscha kaman tam tam lokam jayate tanscha kaman tasmad atmajam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. So this ends the third Mundaka, third chapter and first subchapter. Means yam yam lokam, any world. Means you can say Pitraloka, you can say Gandharva Loka, or you can say Swarga, or you can Vaikunta, or any Loka, whichever Loka. Manasa samvibhati. Who? Vishuddha Sattva. Vishuddha Sattva means the man of pure mind, means the man who is free from all the mental afflictions. And if you read Patanjali Yoga Sutra, 5 types of kleshas has been told. One who is free from all that kleshas, 5 types of kleshas, Vishuddha Sattva, such a realized person, such a pure person. Samvibhati, wishes for. Where? In the mind, manasa. If he wishes for any world, here again we have to understand that generally he may not wish for, he may wish for people, or he may think himself that let me go to Swargaloka, let me go to Vaikunta, let me go to Kailasa, or let me go to some loka particular. If he wishes for, or if he desires for some others, even for some others, even such persons also can attain that above worlds. So yam yam lokam manasa samvibhati vishuddha sattvaha kamayate yanscha kaman. The 2 lines. Tam tam lokam jayate tanscha kaman. So that type of, that world, whichever has been desired by such realized people, they can attain that. Or if he wishes for some others, for the devotees or disciples or whomever, so even they also can attain that world. Okay. And not only the lokas, even say for an example, we can see in all these things. In the Sri Ramakrishna's life, we have seen. Suddenly he thought he will have an ice cream, or he would like to eat some sweet. And he used to get it without asking, unasked for. So any Brahmagnanis or any really spiritually evolved person, if they desire for something, if they wish for something, the whole nature is bound to provide, and it provides. Or if or they're desiring for someone else. Oh, this fellow may get this job, this fellow may get the good wife or husband, or a good placement, etc. Even if they wish for, even that is also the wishes is also fulfilled. Tasmat bhuti kamaha. Bhuti kama means one who anchors of as prosperity. Someone wants wealth. If they wish for wealth, even that is also attained. Or if they wish that the devotees or disciples or XYZ persons, if they like, let them have a good wealth, even if they wish for, they pray for, even that is also attained. Tasmat atmajam hi archaye. That's why the devotees or the spiritual aspirants should worship, should adore such great people. Either you can say, means sadhus means not just wearing the akar robes, one who has advanced in spiritual life, one who has established in spiritual life, one who has got absolute mental purity. Such people should be worshipped. By worshipping, our desires are fulfilled, our desires are taken care, or our prayers are what you say answered. That's why we should. That's why across all the religions, the great peoples are respected and they're revered. Why? Because of the spiritual quality. So here also the Upanishad is saying, if you worship the Brahmagnanis, whatever your desires are there, your desires are also fulfilled. Now the Upanishad's intention is not worshipping Brahmagnani to get progeny, to get name and fame, to get a good job and all. No, they're telling that Brahmagnani can get all these powers. So it is better you also try for Brahmagnana. So don't try for to get Brahmagnani so that, oh, I don't have a marriage, I don't have a bride or bridegroom. So please bless me, because the Mundaka Upanishad says that if you wish so that I can get a bride or a bridegroom, please wish for me. Let me have a good bride or bridegroom. No, the Upanishad intention is not that. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu. I mean, on the lighter side, why I told this is a common thing. Many of the devotees come and say, Swamiji, can you please pray for my son Swamiji so that I may get good daughter-in-law, good son-in-law, he may get job and all. Sometimes I always feel we didn't want all these things and we came and people come and ask. That's okay. I mean, their devotion and their innocence is fine, but that's how it happens. And even still, the worst part is sometimes devotees feel that we are like Reserve Bank. I mean, because if you tell any problems, I mean, family problems or some other problems among your friends and relatives, it becomes a stature, right? It becomes a different thing. But when it you tell to monks, poor monks, they have to listen. They have nothing else to do. They will listen and they'll keep quiet and they won't tell anyone. So it is safe more or less. That's how, I mean, we have been pulled sometimes to this world or whatever. Yeah. Any questions?
It is karma's way of getting you involved in the real life of other people.
That is true. And here
So you
also one
also
more interesting point is, if you don't want Maya or Jagat, that will come and fall at your feet. And if you go behind that, it goes far actually. Just like our own shadow. When we want to try to catch the shadow and we are going front and the shadows keep on moving actually. But when you leave that and when you go opposite direction, then your shadow follows you. So similarly, Brahmagnani doesn't want anything and he wants to stay with himself or whatever. That's the only wish probably he can have. But still, word is at its disposal. Now, the common person, a worldly man, he wants the whole world to enjoy, but unfortunately, he's not getting all things, whatever he wants. And he has to struggle and he has to work hard for that. Yeah. Okay, then no other questions, I suppose.